Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This weekend, we are having some of the heaviest snowfall I have seen in many years here in Ontario. We are expecting about 30 to 60 centimeters of snow this weekend, and honestly, after the amount of snowstorms we have already been having, it's starting to feel like a lot. Like snowbanks are starting to reach my shoulder, getting pretty close there. So it's already difficult to shovel and get the snow behind you. So, yeah, that's the kind of weekend we're having here. So, what I would like to do today is tackle some of my trailing plants. Mainly, I have Scindapsus here, but I do have a philodendron. I do have a mix of plants here that are personal plants. I also have some cuttings or propagations of my personal plants that I thought I would like to keep, but maybe I might just give them away. And I also have plants that I may no longer be in love with them, but they have really old soil. And before I do give them away, I think I should give them a soil upgrade. So that's what I have here. I might be overly ambitious to try and tackle this all today, but they need to be done anyways. If they don't get done today, then I will try to do it tomorrow. So that is what we have planned for today if you'd like to tag along. So let's get started. I think I'm going to start with the propagations first. I have some in mind that I think might just be the easiest and quickest to tackle first. So let's do that. Okay, so I have some cuttings of my Scindapsus exotica here. And I also have two cuttings of my Scindapsus treubii Moonlight. I actually chopped these off of my main plant because I didn't like how they were growing out of it. And now my main plant looks like it has a lot of new growth points, and I'm enjoying how that's looking now. So now I don't feel like I need these anymore, but you might see on this one it has some like yellowish patches on that leaf there. And I don't know what the cause of it is, but maybe I think at some point it was a bit dehydrated and I wasn't keeping up watering. These are in vermiculite and perlite. Same with the Scindapsus exotica. That's what I like to root my plants in. So I think this could be a nutrient issue here, this spotting. So I'm going to pot this one up into some soil. We have good roots in there for both of them. So might just be a good time to just do that now. I'm also going to try to reuse some of these if possible. I just want to add some soil to help with water retention and adding some nutrients. My mix has some worm castings in it and a little bit of fertilizer, and I think it might just be better than the base vermiculite and perlite. So that is what my aim is here. And I believe that they should be able to fit into this little plastic cup here. Um, the roots might be a bit more full, but like this one is very full, but I still think it could fit. So we'll see. Actually, what I might do is tilt the camera a little bit down so you can actually see what I'm doing. 1 second. Okay, that's much better. Let's get started here. Here's the little pot I was going to use. Let me see if I can reuse some of this. Wow, there are a lot of roots. Weird. I'm seeing some. Is that rotting on the end? Could be rot or burns. I don't think it's anything serious, but note to self. Let me actually just clip off those ends there. I do wonder if some of that rot was from underwatering when I was sick that 1 week. Unusual to see. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, some of those roots are very thick. Okay, so I have 2 sets of pretty good roots here. Will they fit in this cup? Let's see. I think that looks pretty nice. Let me just make sure this one is all the way inside. I wonder if I can separate these just a little bit so that I can get them to fit better. There we go. I think that looks pretty nice. I'm going to reuse some of this mix here. It's not pouring as easily because it's still wet. I just watered all my plants yesterday. I think that should be good. And let me just add some more soil. There's only soil at the bottom right now. I'm just going to tap this in. Because I want to just fill out some of those air pockets in there. I think that looks pretty good inside. And then here is the treubii Moonlight. So it looks far fuller than it did before, which is nice. I'm also just going to add a label here. I like to add labels to my pots. This one I think I'm going to give away. All right, one done. The next one is the Exotica. This again, it's very well rooted. Let's see. It's very well rooted, but I don't like it in the perlite and vermiculite anymore. And it just drinks so much. So I need something a little bit more water retentive. And this leaf has always been floppy, and I'm so curious to know if this rooted or not. It's still alive, but maybe it didn't root super well. And if not, I want to know why. Oh, actually, I might be able to see why. Okay, so it does have a root, but it was hardly in the mix. Which totally makes sense. But now that I have it taken out, I can probably pot it up a bit better. Let's get all these cuttings out. I'm also going to use a similar little cup here. I find that like these look so much nicer than the regular cups. I like to use these for propagations or for myself, but these look a little bit more presentable when giving it away or potting up my own plants that are thirstier plants. I would rather keep this as a pot, so to speak. So I'm just going to transfer this one over. Let's take a look at the roots. Oh my goodness, this is like, there's hardly anything on this. Yeah, these ones seem pretty well rooted. I won't mess with them too much. Time to start putting them into this pot here though. Oops, actually let's put these in first. Okay, I might do what I did with the last one and break up the roots just a little bit so that they can fit into this cup. And to clarify, I'm not breaking any roots, but just sort of separating them. Because when they're so attached to each other, you can't really move them very well, but when they separate, then they can bend a little bit better to fit into the pot. I think that looks pretty good now. I'm making sure that the roots that were not very well into the pot before are now inside of the pot. I'm going to use some more soil on top and shake that down. What in the world? This did not make it in for some reason. I want to try again. You know, it might be easier if I were to take out some of this soil. Okay, I think I wedged it into a good spot now where I can actually bury it in the soil. I feel like I somehow made the other ones more rocky. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. Let's see if I put this in now, what it looks like. Okay, so I think this looks better now. I'm just cleaning up some of the dirt that was on the leaves that I created. And yeah, I will give this one away too. Let me just get a little label for it. In fact, I still have this one. So I may just see if I can peel it off and put it to that. Nice. Those are done. I will set these aside for something else if I need them. Okay, the next one I have here. This one might be tricky. This is my Scindapsus silver lady that has been reduced to mere vines. When I had this plant, it was beautiful. It was lush. It looked so great. And then I overwatered it and did that thing where I said, "Oh, I'll take care of that later. Oh, I'll take care of it later." And this is what I'm left with. But I tried multiple propagation methods, like putting it into soil, or I don't think I tried water with this one, but I tried to propagate from soil basically, and it just wasn't enough. So my last resort was to put it into this little baggie, and oh my gosh, I suddenly have roots. Let me just take it out and show you. I struggled to root this for so long. Oh my gosh. Okay, it doesn't look the healthiest, but we are seeing roots, right? Like there's some, here's some here. There's another one here. I have roots kind of like along on like different places. So yeah, this is one vine. Oh gosh, these are stuck together. Another vine. My third vine, which somehow still has a leaf for some reason. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. And I don't know. Oh, yep. This somehow also is rooted. I don't know how successful this small one will be, and it's very yellow. But I would like to try to see what I can do. And I've never worked with Scindapsus like this before, so I am debating what the next step might be best. Part of me wants to put it in the vermiculite and perlite, and part of me wants to put it directly in soil. Now that I actually have roots, it might be okay in soil. I just have to watch the water levels. I kind of want to put it in soil. It was very different before when I was trying to root it in soil, which a lot of people do root these in soil when there is a leaf. But I actually have roots, so I'm feeling optimistic that I can put it in soil. What I might do is mix in some of the vermiculite and perlite anyways. So again, I want to take one of these little cups. And what I might do differently is sort of just wrap them in there. I guess I could cut them at each node. Actually, what I might do, does it make sense to have it as one and wrap it like that? Is that weird? Like I'm kind of wondering if that makes sense or if I should sort of chop this in the middle here because I do have roots on each side. Okay, what I am gonna do, I think I've decided I'm going to wrap it. It does look like there might be like something that could be rooting here, like a root might come out here. So maybe it is okay for all that stem to be below. I have lots of rooting points, and that's how I'm gonna think about it. So I'll wrap it like this. Ooh, maybe like that. There we go. Maybe this isn't a great idea. One second. Did I just lose a root? I sure did. I just broke that one. Ah, okay. New plan. I am going to cut it. Give me a second. I'm just gonna sterilize my pruners here. Okay, where do I want to cut this? Maybe here. All right, can this fit in here? Yes. This can probably fit better too. Awesome. I'm wondering if I should just use 2 separate containers. Let those root together. And then have these root together. Should I cut this as well? You know, I could cut off some of back here. It looks kind of yellow. So maybe I just don't need that part. Yeah, that fits far better. Maybe I'll cut this here. And then up here can kind of root. Like that. And you, I'm gonna cut off down here. I don't like how it looks. That looks much better. I'm also going to cut this here, just below that root in here. So that this can fit. You know, I'm starting to wonder, I could probably just stick this in this pot here. And this tiny one, I'm just gonna snip off that little bit of yellow. I mean, they all look fairly yellow at this point, but where it's most yellow, literally, if anything grows from this, I will be shocked. It just feels like there's nothing left. But hey, I'm already kind of reduced to nothing here. I may as well try. So I will stick this in one of these pots at the top. And yeah, okay, let's get started putting some soil and vermiculite and perlite in here. Oh, I feel like I always forget to mention or show the mix. So I pre-make this mix myself. It is a mix of potting soil, peat moss, fine fir bark, medium fir bark, sponge rock, and I have 2 sizes of charcoal in there, fine and medium. Oh, I also have worm castings, so. to sort of help with the nutrients in these pots. I'm gonna just put some, actually I want to add vermiculite to the bottom of these. I feel like I can see the water levels better when it's at the bottom. For the other ones, I don't worry so much because they have a good root system, but for this, I want to be a little bit more careful. Let me add a little bit more to this one. Okay. And soil. Okay, so there they are. Honestly, if this Scindapsus grows back for me, I would be so happy. Like, I really liked this one, and it was a shame that I overwatered it. I remember it having such a good root system, so I guess I took that for granted and just left it in water, and I was like, ah, it's fine, it's a Scindapsus, and then I just lost everything. So fingers crossed this one will grow from here. I'll just give this a good soak along with the other props when I am done. Let me also just clean up my area before I start the next plants. Oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot to put this in there. I almost threw this out. I'm gonna stick it in, I think this one should be fine. Just kind of stick it in the soil like that. Let me just top it up a little bit. There, I did it. It's inside. I don't think any of the other ones can be used. I didn't like this piece. Okay. That is much better. Now I will clear up my space. Okay, I am back. I just actually took a break for a little bit to start shoveling the snow before it got too high. And oh my gosh, these snowbanks are higher than I remember. I think the last time I really saw the snowbanks or acknowledged that the height was on Wednesday. They are well past my shoulder height now, and in some parts they're actually taller than me. Oh, this is just one crazy snowstorm. Very uncommon, but I guess it is pretty possible to have here in Ontario, but it is not fun. One other thing I just didn't do with these, I realize now that I'm back, is I didn't put a label on them. I just want to, especially because I can't see the leaves, I don't want it to be like a couple months later, I don't remember what they are. So I'm just going to quickly write their names. This one should actually have a name tag, but I think I have it downstairs somewhere. So I'm just going to do this temporarily until I find that name tag. There we go. So I've also just added the month and the year. I don't know how well that'll come up. It's very small. I just write really small, but I want to remember when I put them in these cups for reference. Oops. I'm actually going to top this one up a little bit. I want more of those vines covered. There we are. I just want to keep track of when I actually put them in this soil and see how they progress months from now when hopefully I get back some leaves on this. Okay, let me move some of these off of my desk actually and make room for the next set of plants. Actually, I just realized I have one other cutting I want to tackle. So this is my Scindapsus tricolor. This is a cutting of it. I have a fuller one in my collection. I just wanted to see how to propagate this, and I don't know. It's become very long and bare. So let me just take it out. I just have it in some perlite. And honestly, it has been in this perlite. I wish I labeled this, but it was in here for a very long time. You can see it. It's just a little bit of algae in there. So all this time, I thought it would have grown far more roots. I actually think I want to cut this again. I don't like how it looks. I might take off the end here, which is kind of brown and dry and just yellowing. And then maybe try rooting some of these vines down here. Again, I'm going to use one of these cups, and once again, I'm feeling tempted to propagate in soil this time. I still have some of that vermiculite and perlite as well. Okay, so I just took that bit off. And actually, what I might do for these, I wish I remembered to do it for the other ones. I'm thinking I should just put some cinnamon on those fresh wounds. So I have some cinnamon here. It's just one way to sort of, instead of waiting for that to callus, one way to sort of help prevent root rot. And then I am going to cut this just here, just above that leaf. So that will be one. And then I will do, I'm gonna cut this off because it's really long. And tap that in the cinnamon. Put that there. This will be, I may actually just cut this a little higher at this node. There's a node here and a node here, but I think I might just give it an extra one. And I do not know how I feel about this. I'm just gonna tap that in cinnamon, and then maybe I just cut this here. Well, it landed in the cup for me. And then maybe I keep that together. I don't really have strong feelings on this. I'm just kind of going with the flow here. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. Let me get some of that vermiculite from before. I'll shake that down. And I think this one is set. That looks far better than what it was doing. It's still a little straggly, but I think it will just take some time. And then, yeah, this is now garbage. There are no nodes on this, so there's nothing for this to grow from. All right, the next plant I have is my Scindapsus treubii Moonlight. This is the parent plant, and you can see, hold on, she's a little bit wet. I have quite a bit of new growth points in here, but I don't know what this yellowing is going on the tips of the roots. Oh my goodness, the tips of the leaves. And I kind of want to take a look at the root system. This is not in my mix. This is just the mix it came in. I am worried if the roots are okay. I just don't understand what this yellowing is. So let us take a look. Okay, I do see a little bit of rot. Like you see some roots have just fallen off. But I do have a good root system still. Ooh. Interesting. So I don't know what this yellowing is here. Let's see if I can. A lot of yellowing just right there where it should be green. I don't know if that's normal. This is kind of new for me to see. Scindapsus are a bit new in my collection in general, so a little unfamiliar with that yellowness. I know sometimes it doesn't really mean much for some plants, but this doesn't look too hot to me. The roots look great though. I don't really understand what all that yellowing is. I guess the best thing I can do just to understand watering better is just put it in my own mix. I am just debating if I should just... I really like this leaf though. It's one of the 4 leaves that I got it with and it was pretty. It is turning brown though, like at the tip. And it is starting to have this yellow color. I don't want to cut it. I think I'll leave it. I think if I watch it progress, then I'll take care of it then. So I don't see anything else that indicates there's anything wrong with the plant. Like if it was brown and rotting, I would have chopped that off. But the roots look good. We have a good root system. Yeah, there are some dead roots in here. Just could have been from overwatering. That's what these brown spots kind of indicate to me. So what I'm going to actually do now is just rinse these roots. I don't know this soil well, so I kind of want to just start fresh with my mix. All right, I'm back. I just rinsed these roots and the pot itself. I can see the roots a little bit better and what's rotting versus what is healthy. For the most part, everything looks great. Just a little bit of darker tips. I also just did a refill of my soil because it was running low. So let me just get my pruners and snip some of these roots. I have a terrible habit with plants where I see the signs that something might be going wrong, but I opt to say, oh, they're fine. And then I get surprised much later on that I should have acted when I was seeing those signs. So this time when I saw this plant and I've seen those browning tips, I thought, okay, maybe I should check this. I don't want to be surprised later, like I have been with a few of my other plants, like my silver lady was one of those. So trying to cut that habit, and when I do see something, act on it sooner. If you see something starting to look unusual on your plant where there's like signs where it's very obvious that something could be wrong, maybe just check the plant. You never know, you could be surprised. Honestly, one of my goals this year is to I mean, as simple as it is, just act on it sooner. Don't just assume it's fine. All right, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna spray this down with some hydrogen peroxide. And I think it's time to put it back in its pot. Ooh, you know what I might do? Because this has holes at the bottom, do this and put the pot over top. Just make some room here. Put it on top and, oh wait, let's put some soil at the bottom first. So now, if the soil were to run out the bottom, it'll just go right back into my little soil box here. And I think, hold on, just want to add a little bit of soil here. All right, I think that looks so much better. So I'm hoping this continues to grow very well. I love the look of this when it's trailing. I just didn't like those other pieces that were growing out of it. It was actually just one long vine and I just cut it into two. But now this one has multiple growth points, which is exciting because I like that fuller look. So it does grow pretty slowly, but I'm hoping that in time it will start to look a lot nicer. Now for the next one, actually, I'm going to move this down here. All right, so this is my Scindapsus exotica. This is my personal plant. I love this plant. It's not growing in like the best or fullest. It's not very full right now. It just has these two strands. I don't know how many plants are in here. This is just how I got it. I believe it's 2 cuttings. I got it from a friend. Yeah, I'm gonna just take it out. I want to see what's going on in here. The roots are starting to come out of the bottom. And I want to make this fuller. So I'm gonna see if I can try to take some cuttings and put them back in the pot. Let's first take this out. Again, this is not my mix, so I may do another root rinse here. I wish I thought of that before and rinse the 2 plants at the same time, like the treubii, Moonlight, and this one. Oh my goodness. There's so many roots. Woo. Okay. Kind of exciting. This is a great sign. But oh my gosh, if there are multiple plants in here, I have zero clue how I'm going to divide them. Because I don't want to cut these roots. I am going to try my best to detangle them though. There are so many springtails. Oh my goodness. I know they're not harmful, but I don't like seeing that many. I see. So these are the 2 different plants. So each vine is actually a different plant. Noted. Oops. Oh my goodness. I just spilled soil on my shirt. Honestly, I think this Scindapsus exotica is one of my favorite Scindapsus, like in general. I love the size of the leaves. I love the pattern. I think it's very photogenic. I love it. If I were to choose the next one that I think I would love, ugh, that one's actually difficult. I really love the Silver Lady. She's a bit tough to grow though. The treubii Moonlight is beautiful, but it is such a slow grower. I kind of want to say maybe is it Jade Satin? It has about the same size leaves, but it's like this nice deep green. I will have to say maybe that one is my next favorite. It's also just about as an easy grower as this. I do have that plant to tackle, so maybe, depending how I'm feeling, maybe I do that one next. But yeah, I like these really big leaved ones. Oh my goodness, this has been a while of me trying to detangle. I just want to save as many roots as I can. I mean, the very tiny ones, it's not a big deal, but the very chunky roots I would like to keep without damage. But oh my goodness gracious, it's literally, they're two just tangled together. I guess at this point though, I could just run it under the water and they might just detangle as I'm rinsing. So I may just pause this detangling to do just that. Yeah, I'm gonna go rinse this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished rinsing this and they're still attached. So I will sort that out in a bit. I do see some rotten root tips, so I am just gonna go through and snip those first. Honestly, very happy with this root system. I have been wondering why it was so thirsty, and considering all of these roots were somehow in this little pot, I don't get it. It's quite impressive. I'm definitely going to try and give it a bigger pot though, considering the amount of roots that I have here. And I also want to make it fuller. I want more propagations inside of the pot. So that little pot's not going to cut it. Okay, there really isn't much to cut off on here. If there are any rotten roots left, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that impactful considering how many roots there are on this plant, or two plants. Let me see if I can separate it again. Oh, hold on. It's another rotten one. All right, back to detangling. Nice. Okay. So this is one plant. And this is the other one. Quite good roots. I'm very happy with that. Let me see. If I were to propagate, where would I cut this? I wonder if I should cut at this node here. There's nothing growing here, so this could probably just root in the soil, and then I'll just have this vine, and then the main part can just grow another growth point. Okay, and then I'm just actually gonna cut a little lower down and maybe cut right there. Let's do it here. Perfect. Okay, so now this looks like that. Beautiful. This here, where could I cut this? Oh, I do have another empty node here. You can also see where I chopped the last time. I'm just gonna chop just above that. Right there. So now I have that little node that can help root. I'll put that there, and that is the rest of this plant. Cool. I hope I can make it a little bit more full. I know I have the cuttings from before that I could use, but I don't like the shape of a lot of those, which is why I cut them off to begin with. I love this one, so I'm hoping that this one will propagate. I'm wondering if I should cut it again, but for now, I think I'll leave it like that. We'll see about this one. Okay, as for the pot now, because there is no way this is going to fit in here, I'm thinking something like this should do. I actually don't know how wide this is, but it is more of a shallow pot. I want to believe this is 6 inches. Definitely not a 5-inch pot. So let me just take a look at how these look in here. Okay, I think this might be not like really nice. Let me just see. So this will grow from this side. Maybe I should point this the other way so that the direction of growth is the same direction. Yeah, because this will grow from here. Okay. I think I like the look of that. Oh, let me just tuck these roots in. Let's situate this. Actually, before I even situate it too much, I need some soil at the bottom. Just a thin layer. I just totally forgot that I meant to put these cuttings in. Although the more I think about it, I wonder if I should propagate these in water first and then put it in this pot. Also, I'm just realizing I don't think this is in the soil very well. I wonder if I should just toss off some soil and then kind of redo that. Okay, let's see. If I were to stick this in, how would this look? This kind of just looks wild. No, okay. What if I did it like, it's like growing in the wrong direction. If I did it the other way, it still seems kind of funky. Something like this should work. I'm gonna maybe tuck this like that. I'm gonna make it work. If I don't like this, I can always rearrange it later and then repropagate parts that I don't like. But for now, I am going to try to situate it like this. And I'll just have this turn like that. Okay, so now I'll just fill it in here. Okay, so that's the last bit of my soil. Let me just settle the soil in here and just give it a few taps. Where's my brush? Let me just brush and clean up some of these leaves. So I think it will take some time for it to look nice and full and trail again, but I like the look of this a lot more think the backs of these leaves might need some cleaning. And then I'll just watch how that propagation is doing. I will definitely have to keep this more moist. But yeah, that's my Scindapsus exotica. I really like it on this side. Okay, let me put this one down and see what's next. Okay, I went to go get another plant and I feel like I have this habit of forgetting my clippings. I'm wondering what I should root this in, or if I should just root it straight into water. Maybe like a little bit of a taller cup would work. If I were to stick it into this like that, this could work. Let me just make a few more cuttings and then stick them in the water. Okay, so I'm gonna cut down here since I have a node here. I'm just gonna cut just above this leaf. And it can sit just like that. How do I want to do this? There is a node down there that kind of has a root starting there. I know there's a leaf there, but I think if I put the water high enough, it should be able to hang off the edge there. So I'll cut there. And how do I want to do this one? Is it worth just leaving it like that? I'm just going to cut this shorter and then leave that node down there to be the thing to root in water. So I'm just going to fill this up with water, and that's another set of propagations of my Exotica. There we go. So that should be good enough to get these to root. This would be my first time rooting Scindapsus in water, but I have seen a lot of people have success. That's another thing done. Let us clear this up again, and I might need to refill my soil. Let me just see what I'm working with. Yeah, I'll probably need more soil, and then I will get the next plant. Hey there, sorry to interrupt. This is Leslie from the future. I spent a lot of time repotting those plants. I did, in fact, repot all of them in the same day. And yeah, after editing for a little bit, I realized it might be better that I split this into two parts to make it a little bit more digestible. And yeah, that is what I'll be doing. So if you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, feel free to hit that like button. If you have any questions, suggestions, any comments at all, feel free to add them in the comment section below, and subscribe. My aim is to have something up every Tuesday, and I'll have part 2 uploaded shortly. Yeah, so I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.